guys are only a game and a half out of third, and should, I would assume, be favored to win just about every game that you play from here on in. Is getting to third something that you're interested in or want to do or are striving to do?
We're just trying to, Joe, I know this sounds, we haven't talked about seeding. We haven't talked about, hey, let's go for this seed or that seed or stay in this place. None of that. It's especially with the health we've had, we've just got to piece it together and keep getting better, and hope and pray for better health. And I think that's where we are. I don't think we're in a position right now where we can predict that or start talking about it, if that makes sense.
Last night went for 32 points, dished out 7 assists, grabbed 7 rebounds. High degree of difficulty. He emails his first shot here tonight. Merrill, Schroeder, wide open. Allen on the weak side, lays it up and in. Jared Allen, breakout year is Ryan Rollins. Schroeder penetrates right past Kuzma. He'll lay it up and in.
Double team Jared Allen in that double team, and then he kicks it out. Going to have wide open shots.
Merrill crosses over Green and buries a 3. The last time these teams met in Cleveland in November, this man nailed 6 big triples as Merrill hits the 3, and the Bucks need a timeout.
Listen, we've slipped defensively these last 10, 15 games. That's our, that's kind of where we are right now. Some of it is Jared's been out, but we slipped a little bit. But the good news is we have the talent. We're more than capable. I think you get in these stretches during the season where you're just not locked in. Defensively, we get a lock back in.
Both ends of the floor.
Ellis harasses Thomas out of bounds. Last off Thomas. Another big-time play by Keon Ellis.
Hey, this group that's been on the floor the past several minutes for the Cavaliers is just absolutely disrupting everything that Milwaukee's trying to do, creating chaos.
When you talked about Dennis pregame, you were talking about him getting an elevated opportunity, more minutes. If we have to call on him, we can. Like, does this reaffirm what he can be for you guys if James is going to miss time?
Listen, Chris, he's I've always felt in my mind he's a starting point guard in this league. Just that's the way I've always looked at him. So he's obviously done it before. So yeah, if that is a situation, we're covered with Dennis. Yes. Made an immediate impact. Some players it takes a longer time period to evaluate. And listen, this is a part of our front office, right? There was obviously a big push to get him. They were gung-ho over the prospects of getting Keon. So, I had the preliminary stuff, but you gotta see it, see him and feel him. But and I still think, especially offensively, he's just kind of scratching the surface. Still a young player, but the defense is, has been excellent. Keon Ellis, what was it? 5 blocks, 3 steals.
Almost fully healthy, if not fully healthy, especially ahead of the playoffs.
Oh yeah, you start thinking too, right? Man, if we play these guys, not jumping ahead of ourselves, but you're in that mindset now. There's a little more. I think there's a little more detail. There's a little more rewinding and pausing, rewind. Or maybe if it was a West Coast team or a team you're not going to face or have a chance to face, you wouldn't be. So I said it the other night. These are big games for us. Evaluation, playoff type game, and then obviously the standings that go into it.
With CP, you said that you guys had a couple of guys down. What do you think his impact was tonight? Looked like he obviously couldn't get it going in the first half offensively, but then he got it going in the second.
Possession getter, like his I felt like he came up with. We were struggling a little and start missing, and he just flies in there and gets those offensive rebounds. It's such a boost to your morale and your offense, especially when you're not in the groove. He just really timely. I thought he made timely plays tonight.
And then also Thomas, even in that same 2-3 minute stint when between Jarrett and Evan there in the middle. What do you think that he's been giving you guys consistently here?
What a signing by our front office. Like, we haven't talked about him all year, and he's had this stretch. And Evan's been out, J.A.'s been out. He's played really, really well. His rim protection tonight, obviously that's their strength, and I don't know, 5, 6, 7 plays at the rim. Verticalities, blocks. And I think, listen, he gives teams trouble because he can stretch the floor, right? Like we got our rollers, we got J.A. Evan's more of a roller than a popper, and then he's one guy that pops, and now it just stretches the defense. We all know that's hard. That's really hard to defend.
What allowed Jalen to be so successful defensively against KT?
Listen, I think it's he kind of wears them down. It's what teams do to us with Donovan, and that's kind of the role player, position we've talked about with him, and great defensively, but then, 5 for 12 from 3, 42% from 3. Huge night for him.
Thomas Bryant. Hey, TV, sorry. Don't forget about CP, our possession getter.
Hold it down for the role players.
Hey, TP, what do you got?
Together on 3, 1, 2, 3.
They got championship pedigree, right? Like this is another level. This is an elite team, one of the elites of the league. So that's our, we talk about we have to prove. We got a lot to prove. That this is part of it, getting over the hump. So they're really good. Now they have Tatum back, obviously, even better. Tale of two halves. I thought our energy and force was below average in the first half. I thought the second half it was better. You know, our process was better in the second half.
Three-point shooter nails that one down. It doesn't have to be threes on the offensive end, but it's got to be quality possessions. Jalen Tyson nails a three. Tyson's in the postseason.
And it's not a coincidence. He's not in the game out of that timeout.
Fourth field goal. Hauser tries again. Comes up short. Schroeder the rebound. Minute and a half to go here in the third. Donovan Mitchell walks into a three. Got it. Second three from Mitchell.
It seems like a theme playing them. You know, so that's a bit concerning. You know, we got to do better. So that's the challenge next month and a half. See if we can take that next step. Yeah, the longevity is amazing. Testament to his resiliency. It's so hard in this league to do it for so long, so consistently. And you know, this version we're seeing of James is you know, you don't think of just score. Like, I just think of this complete player. You know, incredible. But yeah, to do it for this long at this high level is amazing.
Suggs pulls up. He is the real X factor for this Magic team. It seems to be when Suggs goes, Orlando goes. As Merrill with a quick trigger buries a three. Merrill three went down. The Cavaliers are traveling well once again. No surprise. Harden looks to size up Banchero. Blows right past him. He'll bank and score. As to say 1 and 1A with Paolo Banchero.
He's phenomenal. His slashing and catching. They're a different basketball team. They have him. They're different.
Mitchell over the top as he rainbowed Banchero and loops it in.
Felt like we were a step behind all night. And it's a shame because offensively, you know, I think we had high 120s offensive rating. You know, defense wasn't up to par. So I think, you know, there are just times during the season where you have ebbs and flows. We're in a dip right now. I'd say the last 10 games have not been great. Stats back it up. So to me, we have the talent, we have the ability. It's shifting our mindset, right? We got to have more of a defensive mindset. I think we're going to score. I think we have a lot of talent on the offensive end. Obviously, a lot of skill, a lot of shooting. But we just got to. Right now, we got to switch our mentality. I don't think we're locked in, as the players like to say. And they'll back me up. I think they agree with that. Manifested itself in Orlando. It was just kind of a layup drill defensively. A lot of mistakes, and so more focused and like ability, so that's frustrating. So we just got to shift our mindset back, and we've had great stretches of defenses here, so we can do it.
Down the floor, how did you take advantage?
Just getting in the pick and roll. I feel like our pick and roll has been gotten a lot better this first half, and we got to continue that the second half, and I'm just trying to be aggressive.
A ton of looks that
As a
often.
team, you guys shot.
But willing to play the defense, Grady, and also willing to put his body on the line. He makes the right pass, his assisted
To the races, Nembhard cleared space, can't hit. Rebound ricochets off the backboard. Mitchell ahead to Mobley. Mobley, 5 quick ones from Cooper Flag. Mitchell, yes, a long 2. And Allie Clifton, they follow us here on Prime. Back to live action here in the third. This is Schroeder in the corner, making it rain. Missed opportunities on the opposite end for the Mavericks. Mitchell, ball fake, toss out, Tyson, yes! Outside look, Ellis once again.
Keon Ellis and Schroeder coming off the bench and how they can impact the game. So a couple of weeks of those guys getting healthy. And the big one to me is Max Strus and his return. He is a big game player, yes. Brings a lot of toughness.
Kenny, what did you like most about this one?
Just a team effort. I thought throughout the roster, you know, everybody contributed. Obviously Evan's aggressiveness, thought he kind of dominated the game. So really that stood out. You know me, I loved our end of game group there that went in, or you know, two ways and TB out there and how hard they played, and so that was a good way to finish it. I think it's an emotional day, you know, when you witness someone go through what he's gone through, this you know, the off season, and then getting back and the struggle to get back, you know, and you're observing it day to day, and the mental kind of how taxing that is. So to me, it's an emotion, but it's also an exciting day, right? And then just to get a injection of energy and the competitor he is, the personality back in that locker room is it's good timing, right? It'll be a good boost, I think, for the team. You know, not just today, right, but going forward. Oh yeah, because I think they're guys that are in the gray, Mike. Like, just not everybody's a Tiger. Just that's the way it is. You're not gonna have 15 ferocious Tigers on your team. You're gonna have a kind of mix. So, and a lot of, you know, some guys are just in the gray, and if you gotta pull it out of them. And I've seen that. I've seen it. That's part of our job, right? To get someone to play more forceful, more aggressive.
Come down the stretch. Nice move by Evan. Oh, wow, nice drop step in that left hand.
Mitchell over the top of Payne. He'll float it up and in.
He's in my top three.
Harden turns Batonzi inside out. He puts it up and in. And James Harden has a chance for a jaw-dropping three-point play.
just a better team. Post it, you know. Whatever the record says, whatever the net rating says, I just feel like we've improved our team. Credit to the front office for making that move. And it's not just James. I think it's combined with Keon and Dennis coming on board. You know, we get, if we, you know, can get fully healthy, you know, we're going to have a chance to make some noise.
Hey, clinched a playoff berth tonight. I know, yeah.
Hey, Kenny, you mentioned celebrating the fact that you clinched a postseason berth. What did it take for you guys, given everything you went through this year, to get here?